His 9th time massaging the meat in a store?
I think the 9th time stealing.
Oh, boy. Coming up here on News 2 today.
Do you have any trouble writing it yet?
Oh,
you keep
yeah.
trying to write 2009?
Yeah, 'tis the season for writing the wrong year on all of the checks that you write. I only write one.
Down to 43 degrees now, 5:33. In about a week, President Barack Obama will deliver his first State of the Union. On the ground here in Haiti at the Port-au-Prince airport, it is a busy scene. 29 people were taken by ambulance to 6 area hospitals. One person did have to be flown via Medicare to the Medical University of South Carolina. The entire town pretty much thrives on this area, and now much of it is gone.
6:18. Charleston's relief mission to Haiti is at full speed now. Later today, the 3rd plane will take off from the Air Force Base, bringing supplies to that country.
Yeah, and I had the chance to actually travel with the first C-17 crew of airmen on Thursday night as they brought the first wave of supplies to Haiti. Here's a look at the highlights from my 12-hour journey. Charleston's mission to Haiti begins aboard a C-17 Globemaster. America's Air Force using its tools of war to help alleviate a humanitarian crisis. The first leg of the journey took us to New Jersey and McGuire Air Force Base to pick up supplies bound for the disaster zone. A mobile communication center, an armored vehicle, and another vehicle. It takes the crew the better part of 2 hours to load everything safely. It's an orchestra of measurements, balance, brute strength. Even on a jet that's capable of carrying 500,000 pounds of cargo, the 75,000 pounds that we're carrying tonight, pretty big load by these airmen standards. But the Master Sergeant in charge here, Mike Lang, says all of this stuff will be unloaded in a matter of 45 minutes when we get to Haiti. But landing an aircraft weighing in at more than 500,000 pounds, fully loaded with fuel at an airport without a working tower and unreliable electricity is no easy task.
They don't have the power, and we don't have the radar coverage, quite frankly, the safety of the separation of air traffic would be safer in Afghanistan and Iraq than it would be than it's going to be in Haiti when we arrive.
When that's at about 10 o'clock, you seeing a runway there?
Yep.
That's what I'm seeing as well. Easy to pick up with the NOGs.
Yeah.
Those factors made the cockpit a busy and dark place, with the flight crew operating on night vision goggles, or NOGs as they call them, to spot the other air traffic. The only things I could see were the runway lights and a fire burning in the valley.
Brakes, brakes, brakes.
With wheels on the ground in Port-au-Prince, the crew stays true to its word, offloading the supplies in short order. It's a process that is second nature to Master Sergeant Lang's crew, but he says missions like this one add a different sense of urgency.
Especially with a mission like this, what happened here in Haiti, it's always nice to be able to do whatever you can to help out. But with us, it's just the nature of our job. I feel fortunate to be able to come down here and do this.
A successful start to Charleston's mission to Haiti, a mission these airmen expect will last several weeks. Landing at night wasn't the easiest to see any of the devastation that was going on there, except for those fires, just really the only indication that anything was wrong. And the other thing, Tara, that was striking about when we landed there was how closely all of these planes were packed in. Saw planes from Canada, Australia, all these people flooding in there. And like I said earlier, all of this traffic is being handled by some guys sitting in the infield there on basically a card table using pencils and paper.
Because the control tower was knocked out, right?
Control tower was knocked out, and as you look at some of the pictures that I took, and also some from these Air Force combat photographers, there's really no communication other than these pilots communicating with each other. That's the most important part, of these guys knowing where things are. As C-17 was leaving, we were in contact with that crew. They were talking about what they experienced on the ground, how long the waits were, what they need to look out for, because it's a dangerous place. It's like landing in a combat zone for these folks. And especially when you're that heavy with the stuff that we had on there, we were 550,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So
it amazes me how much they can fit in those big C-17s.
And how smooth those landings were. Thank you to my pilots. They were some amazing guys.
This is News 2 Today.
6 o'clock. Thanks for waking up with us on your Wednesday morning. Democrats are slack-jawed. Republicans are saying, see, this is a referendum on the president's policies. I think we're going to have to sit back and wait and let this whole thing play out, but it's still a huge victory for Republicans there in Massachusetts. 1972 was the last time they elected a Republican to Senate. long time, so we'll see what happens.
But I don't think any politicians or people in Washington need motivation. Thank you, Michael. 6:01. This morning, Washington is buzzing with news of an end to the Democrats' filibuster-proof majority in the United States Senate.
6:02 from the State House Bureau this morning. Governor Mark Sanford will deliver his final State of the State address tonight. He is expected to brief reporters on the theme later today. So far, staff really hasn't said much about what the governor plans to say, but there are expectations that he will apologize once again for his affair. Legislators really want him to talk about the state's big problems like unemployment. The governor's final State of the State address starts tonight at 7 o'clock. The state legislature, meanwhile, is halfway through its second week in session. On Tuesday, the House discussed a bill that would put an end to the election of a state school superintendent. Instead, the governor would just appoint somebody to fill that position. That vote is expected sometime this week. The budget shortfall of more than $563 million continues to be a trouble spot for legislators. Members of a House Ways and Means subcommittee crafting the education budget suggested eliminating the final 5 days of the school year. Officials said that would save roughly $21 million a day in salaries and transportation. Some other options include requiring high school students to take fewer courses to get a diploma. Later today, the director of the State Juvenile Justice Department will ask lawmakers to do something about the gang problem in South Carolina. They say it's growing. And a recent State Education Department survey shows nearly 1 in 10 high school students is in a gang. Those are troubling numbers. He said budget cuts forced his agency to close prevention programs like job training and placement courses. And it also stopped plans for anti-gang teams to work with the youth.
This morning, officials need your help finding the people or person responsible. You are asked to call Crime Stoppers 554-1111.
6:05, plans to renovate the Union Pier just got bigger. 4 times as big, to be exact. At Tuesday's meeting, the South Carolina State Ports Authority announced these new plans. It'll now cost $1.3 million to redevelop the passenger terminal. The original plans included revamping 15 acres around the pier. But officials now say they are including 60 acres on both sides of Concord Street in that redevelopment plan.
You're looking at the cruise terminal and the surrounding what's this property going to look like?
Officials say a new modern cruise terminal is needed to handle the growing cruise business in Charleston. Starting this spring, of course, Carnival Cruise Line will bring a 2,000-passenger ship to the city, and it will take regular cruises in and out of the harbor. It's going to be really nice.
Yeah, bring a lot of more tourism dollars here to Charleston.
Some people would say Mr. Liberty would be nice. We're talking about the male version of the Statue of Liberty. A Georgia-based group wants to put one here in Chucktown.
Rodney Cook is the president of the National Monuments Foundation, and he pitched this idea Tuesday to the Patriots Point Development Authority. He says that a male version of the Lady Liberty statue could house a museum about South Carolina's role in the Civil War. It would be about the same size as the one in New York City and carry a price tag of $150 million. He says most of that money, though, could come from the private sector.
Cook reportedly made that presentation at the request of a team of consultants that the Patriots Point Development Authority hired to create a new master plan for the site. Inquiries made to the Atlanta Foundation found the phone number was either disconnected or no longer in service.
Interesting.
Would he be wearing a suit, or would we put him in one of them robes?
Go for a robe. Go for a robe. All right, so to come on News 2 in this half hour, 2 children, listen to this, they spent an entire week trapped alive inside a crumbled house in Haiti. That is amazing. We are going to show you more about this miraculous rescue.
Great stuff. That video of those rescues, it is absolutely
I can see it all day.
To watch. This, not so appealing. The rocks. If you travel I-26, no doubt the front end of your car looks like it's been through a cheese grater. We'll tell you what SCDOT is saying about it. Joey?
And don't forget, we're getting